Rejoice, everyone, we're back with another Sekhie Reacts to Fate.
Dang, I was really hoping I'd trick you there.
No, I heard the click. This week we're doing the Superior Ninjas.
You literally just said that they might not be.
Yeah, but the other ninja that I was talking about, I think he's more well known, but I fucking hate that servant, so...
Oh, I cannot wait till we get to that servant, because then we'll get to a servant finally that you have. I don't think you've ever hated a servant before that we've done.
Look, it's not the design. It's not. It's it's a combination of the gameplay of that servant and the personality. Fuck that guy.
I don't think you've ever hated a servant that we've done before. This will be fresh. This will be hilarious. Anyway, so we're technically not just doing the two ninjas.
Yes, we're doing Kato Danzo, Fuma Kotaro, and as of about half a week ago, we added Kashin Koji to the list.
Which I assume is a Fate thing because it doesn't necessarily connect, but I've learned not to judge things by whether or not they connect historically. Many things in Fate do not connect historically, like Pele and Nyarlathotep. Yet that exists. So really, who am I to judge? At least they're from the same general 200-year period in the same country. That's more than some connections. So on that note, I feel like the best way to start is with the childhood of Danzō. So he went to the Konohagakure Academy, and eventually he ended up on a team together with Hiruzen Sarutobi, who would eventually become the third Hokage. Danzō himself always wanted to become the Hokage, so he put himself in a position. I was wondering how long it would take before you threatened violence. I had like another half a paragraph there. I would have just kept going until you noticed.
I think I noticed around the second Hokage.
Third Hokage, excuse you, Hiruzen Sarutobi. You had to know that I was going to do that. You had to know. I couldn't not.
What am I going to do with you?
Okay. I'm just going to stop laughing and then I'm good to go. So, not a whole ton is actually known about the historical figure, Kato Danzo. And what is known is, kind of legendary attributes, multiple different stories with the details changing from account to account. So, take anything with a grain of salt. We know that he likely lived during the later part of the Sengoku Jidai from around 1503 to 1569, and that he had some form of sort of vassal relationship with Uesugi Kenshin, the daimyo. Or at least he was attempting to get a vassal relationship with Uesugi Kenshin. So according to the stories, the ninja of the time essentially sought out vassalhood with daimyos, right? They wanted a powerful man who would pay them for their services and also protect them, give them sort of house them. It was almost similar to samurai seeking out daimyo, but ninjas, instead of samurai. And obviously ninjas are cooler. We all know that.
I was waiting for you to get that. That was a mosquito.
I don't know, but it's dead now, so it doesn't matter. So, supposedly, Uesugi Kenshin wanted to test Danzo's actual abilities, right? So he said, I need you to retrieve this sword, or naginata, depending on the telling of the story, that was once owned by one of my retainers, Naoe Kanetsugu, right? And so it is kept in this guarded castle of this man's rival, and you need to go get it, right? So Kato Danzo sets out to go retrieve this weapon. But Uesugi Kenshin has tipped off the castle that someone is coming, right? And so supposedly they lay a trap, right? And now one of two things happens depending on the story. In one version of the story, he makes it into the castle and then triggers the trap with fake puppet dolls and then jumps out the window to get away, right? And in the second version, he constructs a puppet of himself wearing his ninja gear and has it sent over the walls, but it's still attached to a rope. So then when the trap is triggered and the guards come running to shoot him, he pulls it back up and it kind of looks like it hovers in the air a bit before disappearing, right? Meaning that he doesn't get caught by the trap, but then he's given the name Kato or Flying Kato, right? Because of the jump out the window or the dummy being like flown up and away, right? So trickery, essentially, is how he gets the name Flying Kato. Now, he did end up bringing the weapon back to Uesugi Kenshin, and then promptly said, "Fuck you, bitch. You didn't trust me, so I'm not going to work for you." Good on him. And so instead, he went to work for Takeda Shingen.
Oh, yeah, the rival of Uesugi Kenshin.
Yep.
I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly. And, Takeda Shingen was like, "Hey, I'll employ you." And then a little bit later was like, "Hey, I don't trust you." Thus ended the life of Kato Danzo. Decapitation! There is also a story about some, like, sorcery that he performed that's kind of unconnected to both of these separate stories, which is that he apparently once made it look like he consumed an entire bull in front of a crowd of people. But, I mean, that's just wild speculation.
That's just a Saturday for me.
I know. That's just me going to the nearby steakhouse, my guy. You know it doesn't need to be cooked.
Nope.
I like my steak still alive. I like to kill it myself. This is a known fact about me. I like my food raw. Or at least practically raw. Kato Danzo is featured in pop culture. Obviously, I made the joke about Naruto at the beginning. But he's also in, like, the Neo games and a bunch of other stuff. It's just one of those things where, like, if there is, like, a samurai themed thing with some level of, like, historicity, we'll often have a mention of Kato Danzo. Yeah? So then, do you want me to just do all three?
Just jump right to the next one.
Okay. All right.
Flip the page.
So, sticking with the theme of ninjas, Fuma Kotaro is the leader of the Konoha military police force. The Fuma clan is distantly related to the Uchiha! Put it down! I don't know how you didn't suspect that. I couldn't not. Okay. I'm gonna reference Naruto again really quickly, but not to call this character the same Fuma Kotaro that's in Naruto. Fun fact, there is a very large form of shuriken called a Fuma shuriken that takes its name from the Fuma ninja clan. They are used in Naruto several times, famously. You actually have seen one of those uses in the anime. You remember in Sasuke and Naruto's team-up fight against Zabuza Momochi in the Hidden Mist, where Sasuke pulls out that giant four-bladed shuriken and throws it?
No.
And he'd, like, substituted himself with Naruto with it, so Naruto pops out of it when he's behind, and it forces the guy to drop Kakashi, who was in that water prison?
No.
Well, Nick Nack has seen this, and then he says that I have a bad memory, really.
How often have I admitted to having a bad memory, too?
So, once again placing ourselves inside of the Sengoku Jidai, Fuma Kotaro was the fifth leader of the Fuma Ninja Clan, which at the time of his leadership of the clan were retainers of the Hojo. Right? Based on sources, we know that the Fuma clan was located centrally in the Kanagawa prefecture, and their ninja specialties were horseback guerrilla warfare and naval espionage, which does not necessarily beget the image of ninja that you think of when you think of ninja, but we all should take a moment and realize that our modern idea of ninja actually does not come from ninjas. It's a different... It's like when you have, like... there's a word for it linguistically when you have, like, a modern word that has evolved completely separately from another ancient word, and they mean two totally separate things, but they're the same word. This is similar to that, but culturally. Like, our idea of ninja evolved separately from, like, ninja as a cultural concept in Japan, right? So, anyways, just Want to clarify that there. So the name Fuma, actually Fuma Kotaro, began with the original leader of the clan, who supposedly had the name Fuma spelled with a different set of kanji, and eventually was changed to a homophone kanji that meant Fuma, which is now associated with wind demon, which is why Fuma Kotaro is often depicted as half demon or half oni, right? Like standing over 2 meters tall with the visage of a demon, that sort of thing. Every leader of the Fuma clan would take the same name of the founder, so that it was A, hard to identify them, and B, did kind of create a myth around the Fuma Kotaro. It's kind of like Hassan Isaba.
I thought you'd make that connection.
Yeah, it's basically an identical concept, just in 2 separate parts of the world. Ironically, evolving at almost the same time. I mean, you're in the same, like, 200-300 year period. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's pretty cool, because it's definitely not a carryover from one to the other. This is 2 separate evolutions that are incredibly similar. Fuck me. Like that. Right, well, I highly doubt Waver is, being too careful to keep his shirt clean beyond washing it every so often, so if I just spilled some Pepsi on mine, it's fine. My cat walked on it with muddy paw prints earlier, so...
Only so much you can do.
Yeah, I mentioned to chat this morning I'm probably going to need to buy a second one, because it is genuinely just one of the most comfortable shirts I own. Like I know I bought it for the meme, but like genuinely this shirt is incredibly comfortable. Like just the fabric and the fit are like stunning.
Tragic. The most comfortable shirt you own is a white t-shirt.
I know. I think I can get it in black though, from the same website.
Let's get 2. One white, one black. One to wear around and one to wear on, to lounge.
Yeah, 100%. So, the history of the Fuma clan supposedly goes back to the 10th century in, oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Do you need me to pronounce a name?
No, I needed to check how the voice to text recorded the name. In the Taira no Masakado revolt against the Kyoto government at the time in the 10th century. But at this point, they actually weren't. They were in service of the Odawara Hojos, which is a different sort of subclan from the Hojos they were currently in service to. So the Fuma Kotaro that we're speaking today is the best known of all the clan leaders, and he apparently led a band of over 200 members divided into pirates, burglars, thieves, and brigands so that they could kind of cover multiple bases. They featured heavily during the 1580 Battle of Omosu, where they infiltrated the Takeda clan forces. I think I'm correct there. Takeda clan forces at night to cause chaos in the camp, resulting in huge casualties. And in 1590, at the siege of the Odawara, with the Hojo clan, right? This is who they were serving as vessels under. At which point, the Hojo clan was forced to surrender to Toyotomi Hideyoshi. When the Tokugawa then came to power, the remaining members of the Fuma clan were forced from their positions as vassals. And ended up essentially working as disenfranchised thieves and beggars in the Edo area. Now, Fuma Kotaro himself is said to have caused the death of Hattori Hanzo. Hattori Hanzo was one of the generals of the Tokugawa clan, and he supposedly did this when Hanzo chased him to the inland sea, and then he led him into a small water channel, right, where his men were waiting, and the Tokugawa gunboats were so large and unwieldy that they got trapped in the currents, and then he lit the water on fire and burned the ships. And then supposedly escaped. According to historical record, the Tokugawa Special Enforcement Squad, led by a former ninja named Kosaka Jinai. That was it. Kosaka Jinai led the chase to catch and then behead Kotarō. That's what historical record says. So, you know. He's often portrayed as like the bitter rival of Hattori Hanzo, simply because of this conflict between the two of them. Although there's not a whole lot of historical attestament that they were like rivals per se.
It's more dramatization since he killed him.
Yeah, in a very specific way. Yeah. Now, so we'll move on to Kashin Koji now. So, Kashin Koji was a clone of Jiraiya, created for the express purpose... No! Ah! Watch it! There was both a lit candle and an open water bottle. Poor Prometheus. I'm so sorry. He didn't mean to hurt you. Put Prometheus backward.
Yeah, I meant to hurt you.
Gently. He doesn't let me have any fun.
Well, that wasn't because you were referencing Naruto. That's because you were referencing Boruto. At that point, I was expecting a Naruto reference, but that was Boruto.
So was the Fuma Kotaro reference.
Was that Boruto?
Both of them were Boruto. Don't you dare! Leave Prometheus! Leave Prometheus.
Sorry, you were owed another.
Don't blame me. I don't watch Boruto. I just read the Narutopedia. Jesus. The only one I know about firsthand was Shimura Danzo. Kashin Koji is, of these three, the least of a historical character. Kashin Koji's actual existence, historically, is heavily debated, and we just don't have any evidence that he actually existed. So, we're no longer focusing on the Sengoku Jidai. Kashin Koji's first legends come from the Muromachi Ashikaga shogunate, about 200 years before the start of the Sengoku Jidai. Kashin Koji is also called Shippo Gyoja, or a pilgrim of the seven treasures. And according to the Ginzan Kokaku, he was born in the Echigo province and was originally trained at the Kofukuji Temple in Yamato province as a Buddhist priest. However, he was found to possess abilities that were non-Buddhist in nature and often described as magical, which led to him being ousted from the temple. Supposedly, one of the things that he was able to do was throw bamboo leaves on water, and then the leaves would turn into fish. He famously did this at Sarusawa Pond in Nara Park. It's also said that at one point, a man expressed doubt to him, and he was like, "You see this toothpick?" They touched the dude's teeth, and the dude felt like his teeth were loose. But here's the thing. I just want to make the comment here. If you had a really bad diet during these time periods, your teeth would be loose. Bad diets can cause your teeth to be loose in their sockets, like malnutrition and like certain types of disease. So like, you know.
So that's my problem.
Are your teeth loose in their
No.
Okay, good. I was gonna be like seriously concerned because that is not a good sign. So Koji had a particularly interesting relationship with Hisahide Matsunaga. So Hisahide had once challenged Koji and had asked him to try to do something that would make him feel scared, because he felt that he was sort of deadened to emotion from all the horrific battlefields that he'd seen. And so Kashin Koji conjured in front of him an image of his wife. She had been dead for a few years at this point. And I can't tell if this is supposed to be a commentary on how scary this man thought his wife was, or if he was scared that there was someone that he thought was dead back to life. The former is much funnier, so I want to believe it's just because Hisahide's wife was apparently so terrifying. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's much more amusing. Now, Koji Kashin is interesting because he actually came across all three of the major players of like the Sengoku Jidai, right? Even though he's not from this period, right? He's supposed to be from the Ashikaga Muromachi period, right? But his story intersects with Nobunaga, it intersects with Hideyoshi Toyotomi, and with Tokugawa Ieyasu. So with Nobunaga, he impresses him by showing him this kakemono with a painting of Oda Nobunaga, and the painting looks exactly like him, like it's incredibly lifelike. And so Oda Nobunaga requests to buy it, and Kashin Koji says, the painting is priceless, so you cannot buy it, right? It is completely without a price. But eventually he then sold the scroll to someone else for 100 ryo, which then made the painting no longer priceless. And so the image disappeared. Because it wasn't priceless anymore. The image itself, you could not put a price on. So when you put a price on it, the image disappeared. It's a pretty cool form of trickery, that sort of thing. Like, I actually really think that's a fun story, you know? So, as for, then, you know, after this anecdote with Oda and the Kakemono painting, he's, you remember Mitsuhide Akechi?
Yep.
We talked about him in another video. So, Mitsuhide Akechi invites Koji to a party, right? And they drink a shit ton of sake. And then he has this, like, painting of, like, a ship on the water. And he summons the painting, like, into the room that they're in, flooding the room in water. The ship comes out of the painting. And he hops on the ship. And they sail back into the painting. And then the water in the room are dry again. Very Voyage of the Dawn Treader, if I do say so myself. So it's another story. With Toyotomi Hideyoshi, he's summoned to court in around 1584, and then he either tells the fortune of Hideyoshi, and it's something incredibly embarrassing, or he reveals a secret that Hideyoshi did not want known to other people. Either way, Hideyoshi is not happy and decides to crucify him. But he turns himself into a mouse, and an eagle carries him away to freedom. I mean, good for him. Crucifixion's shitty. And then, I mean, his last story is with Ieyasu Tokugawa, right? And this one's kind of the most interesting, I think, because it doesn't use the name Kashin Koji. This story is actually for someone named Koji Inshin. But it's said that it's the same person, right? That Ieyasu recognizes him as Kashin Koji and asks him how old he is. And he replies that he's 88 years old, but this happens in 1612, which would mean that he would have to be born in 1524, which is 200 years after the Muromachi Ashikaga period. So the timelines are not matching up great here. You've got Kashin Koji hanging around during the Sengoku Jidai and into the early Tokugawa, and then Kashin Koji being from, 200 years before that in a different period of Japanese history. Anyways, ironically, of the three characters, this one's the most famous. He appears in the most media, is featured more times in folktales and such. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get started today with Fuma Kotaro. Any you even
assassin caster or assassin.
Well, let's get into it then.
I say Kashin Koji could be a caster only because of his stories, but but Fuma Kotaro's an assassin. I don't even know who Fuma Kotaro is, and I know he's an assassin. He's a fucking assassin.
Yep.
He is an assassin. He looks like an assassin. Oh. I love the kunai. Feeling very Naruto over here.
Very just ninja.
Yeah. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Oh.
I don't think we've done any Fate Ninjas yet. So.
No, we haven't. Look, he's got caltrops. I hate caltrops.
I mean, they're useless these days. Just throw Legos on the floor.
D4s.
D4s.
Sharpened D4s. Ugh. No, looks great. Solid ninja design. Looks like a ninja.
So, Fuma Kotaro, you did get it. There, it is like a Han, even in Fate, that it is. This is the 5th Fuma Kotaro.
Yeah.
There are all the heads of the organization have been named Fuma Kotaro.
Yep.
And this particular head of the Fuma clan descends from both foreigners as well as Oni.
Yep. Wind demon.
Yep.
I said Fuma, wind demon.
Kotaro himself is a bit of a compassionate man, but he keeps that side of himself subdued and more introspective. Outwardly, he's actually great at following orders regardless of his own thoughts on the morality of that given order.
Mm-hmm.
And he has very little desire to further his own prestige. Despite stating he wants to keep the Fuma clan going forever, he seemingly purposely doesn't pass on his techniques to a new student and just kind of lets the clan end with himself before his death.
Well, maybe he didn't want to leave a legacy. Alright, so I've got relationship lines. Kato Danzo. So, mother has been summoned. No, there is no need to inform her. She and I have never met. Let's just leave it that way. No sense making her feel that sense of loss. There is a strong bond, a bond beyond that of a mother, a teacher, an elder sister, a bond beyond those and everything else. Kashin Koji Dono, you have done a lot for my ancestors and for my mother. If I'm interested in replacing any body part for machinery, I wouldn't go as far as, I'll be able to fly. Give me some time to think about it, just a little. Give me 3 days. Kashin Koji Dono, thank you for the festival the other day. My intel says that Danzō Dona and our lord had a good time. Oh, about me? Right. It was threat after threat, but in the end, I can say I had fun. Okay. Ah, the great senpai of Mount Ashigara. Pen and paper, pen and paper. Can I get your autograph, please? The great hero that I revere is my great senpai. Golden! Immortal Chaos Golden Brigade. I love that. A little while back, I had a conversation, a slight quarrel with Ibaraki Doji. Out of spite, I said Watanabe no Tsuna will eventually be summoned to come after you. And Ibaraki Doji just muttered, so Tsuna's coming. Then she laughed. I had no idea that Oni could laugh like that. Ibuki Doji, an entity more comparable to a god than to the Oni kind. I personally envy her height more than any of the god or Oni parts. That's valid.
He's a bit of a short king.
We love a short king, though. A samurai, huh? And a fictional one, too. It seems they are rooted in this country, the samurai. Putting the Fuma after the Koga and Aiga. Absolutely unforgivable. You're that warrior monk. I'm surprised to learn you were a priestess. You were a man until Kashin Koji Dono. I see. As her associate, I must apologize. You think I'm her next target? Impossible. You would never, right, Kashin Koji Dono? Kashin Koji Dono? In a sense, Hassan of the Cursed Arm Dono and I are very similar. He has a demon's arm, and I ascertain evil with an Oni's body. Li Shuen Dono, do you think I can special order that wooden sword of yours from him? And then Jeanne d'Arc Alter Santa Lily. I think I did a bit of bad things to her. I apologize. Fuck that name. I don't even hate the character anymore. I just hate how long the name is. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just gonna...
Yes, the Shimosa manga.
Oh. I think... Abilities.
So, as you could probably take a crack at, Fuma Kotaro is going to be a pretty straightforward ninja, relying mostly on ninjutsu and subversive tactics to defeat his opponent.
Fun fact. He's the Jonin leader of his clan. No, like genuinely, that's the word for it!
I want off this channel. I quit.
So you know what this means. This means I obviously have to put Naruto back into the hat soon. So I love the ninjutsu. Absolutely fantastic. A-rank techniques over here. Afraid of your own shadow. Okay. So main noble phantasm is Immortal Chaos Brigade.
So Kotaro's MP allows him to summon his 200 subordinates who surround the enemy in darkness and begin an assault on the target all at the same time. I believe there's fire involved too with that.
I love that. Watch it. And then he's got Ogre Trance.
Yeah, so this involves Kotarō putting on an Oni mask that allows him to take on an Oni form that grants him madness enhancement, increasing his strength.
Fair. Designed by Shonen Sasaki, who also did Barrel Gut and Emiya Alter. Cool. That doesn't give me much.
You've seen Barrel?
Yeah. Alright. So we've got... Old servant or newer servant?
Older, actually.
Okay. What chapter introduced?
He's introduced in Onigashima, which is a chapter that was released not long before Babylonia.
Okay, was it a side chapter?
Yeah, it was an event.
Okay.
So if his animations are a little higher quality, that's probably why.
I kind of like the Haori-esque jacket over it. Mm-hmm. I think it's a nice nod to the fact that like ninja and samurai, while being like intrinsically different things, served a very similar purpose. I think in the Sengoku Jidai, where they were both vassals of daimyos contracted to do the sort of fighting and like physical work on behalf of daimyos.
This also might be an animation update. I just don't know when it would have released.
Fair. I mean, it's nothing fancy, but it looks solid. You know,
Yeah.
Are you?
Naruto hurts me.
Why?
It just hurts me.
Why does Naruto hurt you? He's even Naruto running.
I can respect the Naruto.
Have you ever tried the Naruto run?
No.
To be fair, I have not either. Alright, and then...
This is a formal trailer, but it's for his costume.
Oh, okay, the modern school.
Yeah.
Shinobi boy. You know what the Shinobi boy costume reminds me of? Nabari no O. Which is Nabari no O is a semi-popular ninja anime and manga from the early 2000s that followed the life of it followed like a character who was like the heir of a ninja clan still surviving in modern day, but he was like hiding for his own safety. Something like that. I don't know. I didn't watch or read a ton of it. I didn't really like it, but like I remember. I think I've got the first volume down there on my shelf.
You checked it out because ninja.
No, actually.
Oh.
This was before I was, I think it was just one of those things that was free on YouTube for a while. I watched a lot of anime that were free on YouTube just because they were free on YouTube when I first started watching anime, so...
So next we have Kato Danzo.
Assassin.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to be a girl after the voice lines from
Kotarō.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Peachy, stop it.
Yeah, I knew Kotarō might spoil some of what was coming up. But I have plenty to go over with her, so...
Honestly, though, I like it. Picasso. It's a little horny, but when is Fate not a little horny, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the third one the best.
That's my favorite of hers, too.
Yeah, this is definitely, I think, my favorite one here.
So you remember that anecdote about Kato Danzo using a puppet doll for some of his tricks?
Yes.
Kato Danzo here is actually a puppet. Like, she is a mechanical doll.
This reminds me a lot of Sasori of the Red Sand. So, in Naruto, right? You haven't gotten this far, and it would be a while before. Well, no, you did. You've seen the Sand siblings. Remember Kankuro uses puppets?
I don't remember the puppet part, but I remember the sand.
Okay, so Kankuro.
I hate sand. It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere, too.
So Kankuro, the sibling who wears, like, the black onesie, right, and facial paint. He uses puppets, right? And it's one of the specialties of the village hidden in the sand, Sunagakure, that they do puppet work. And famously, there is a rogue ninja, Sasori of the Red Sand, Sasori no Akasuna, who has been... Sasori originally used puppets, right? But he transformed humans into puppets, like human corpses into puppets. And then eventually, he turned his own body into that of a puppet that he could control. Anyways, it's one of the best Sakura fights in the entire series.
Well, Kashin Koji is actually the one that created Danzo in collaboration with the first head of the Fuma clan, actually. So
really, we should have started with Kashin Koji and then done Kato Danzo and Fuma Kotaro.
I'm giving Kashin Koji wasn't originally to be in this video. I decided to save Kashin Koji for last.
You could have switched up the order last second.
Also, the animations get better and better because they're newer and newer, but her purpose was actually to raise and train future heads of the Fuma clan, leading our Fuma Kotaro to view her as a mother figure, even going so far as to call her mother, which you saw in the voice lines. She's colder and detached, not letting herself have much of a personality, but she genuinely does care about the clan heads. So story time here. All of this kind of comes to a head in the Shimosa Singularity, which takes place in early Edo, when Yagyu Munenori and Ashiya Domen found her wrecked after her execution during the earlier Sengoku period. They would wipe her memory and apply a multitude of curses to her, and then have her act as a retainer to Yagyu, spying on his enemies. This would bring her into direct conflict with Fuma Kotaro, who was present on the side of Chaldea during the Singularity. She would be sent by Yagyu to infiltrate Chaldea as a spy while assisting them, and she would keep their Kotarō would keep their relationship as her adoptive son a bit of a secret from her, though his actions along with Chaldea's would ultimately sway her to the point where she tries to reveal that she was a spy and apologize, But before she can, Musashi, Kotarō, and the others more or less confirm they knew the entire time.
Aww.
Doman eventually takes control of her and forces her to fight them, but to avoid attacking them, she self-destructs, and what remains of her shuts down, and as she's doing so, she remembers her relationship with Kotarō, passing her magical energy onto him so he can be stronger for the fights to come.
Aww. This is good mom energy.
Yes.
This is good mom energy. Anyways, her manufacturer, a cold-blooded man, an extraordinary black magician. The first Fuma Kotaro, a person who should also be called another parent of hers, similarly like Kashin Koji. He's not the person I met as a servant of proper human history, but it is noisy about Ashia Domon. Okay. Miyamoto Musashi, Senji Muramasa, they are likewise not people I met as a servant of proper human history, but I feel like they are people I have a great debt of gratitude for. Mochizuki Dono is a shinobi of the Takeda clan. Danzō has somewhat of a connection to the Takeda clan, too. To think that I would be able to meet you in a place like this. Mochizuki Dono, Chiyome Dono, why are you looking down like that? Chiyome Dono, a shinobi of the Takeda house. The fact is that for Danzō, I want to get close to her, but from the way it seems for Chiyome Dono, she has a somewhat ill feeling for me. Okay. Fuma. Is there a shinobi of the Fuma clan around here? When she had been living under the Fuma clan's roof for a period of time, Danzō became the foster parent of a certain red-haired infant. The reason is that Danzō, who has the skills of the first Fuma Kotaro built into her as a database of some sort, was the best transmitter of the Fuma skills, sometimes guiding him as his ninjutsu mentor, and sometimes treating him with tender loving care like a mother. This little child was surely none other than the future 5th generation Fuma Kotaro. Kotaro Donna, you've really grown up fine. This is the first time Danzō feels this kind of warm emotions. And also, there's this feeling in my chest. Fun fact. This is something I know from Boruto just from reading the Narutopedia. But apparently the Kashin Koji character in Boruto does act... So the Kashin Koji character is cloned off of Jiraiya. Remember, Jiraiya was Naruto's mentor?
Yes.
Right? And apparently... Kashin Koji becomes Boruto's mentor when he's forced to defect from the village. Which is a pretty interesting parallel. I don't know. It's funny. Shimosa servants. Have we met before? I'm sorry. Nothing of the sort. Mechanical servant. Okay, Edison. Why are you looking at Danzō with those sparkly eyes? White Lion Dono.
Run away. He's trying to do some patent infringement.
Run away. Electric power, is it? No, Danzō does not know any techniques involving lightning. What? That's a good way to increase my output? Really? Okay.
A lot of manga panels.
Yeah, I see that.
Shimosa has a really damn good manga.
That's not a manga panel.
That's a straight up FGO animation.
Yep.
There was another manga panel up there, though.
I clicked it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Alright, abilities.
So, Kato Danzo fights with a combination of ninjutsu as well as using the mechanical augments in her body. This allows her to travel at extremely high speeds, allowing her to keep up, at least for a bit, with fighters that are significantly stronger than her. For example, in that gift, Watanabe no Tsuna.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, if you're going off the... I mean, even the puppet thing doesn't make... Like, it doesn't sound all that weird, because remember, in both of the versions of the trap story, in one version... in one version, he creates dolls to trigger the trap and help him get away. And in the other version, he creates, like, a puppet of himself in his own clothing, you know, to get away. So it makes sense. So yeah, I mean, synthetic limbs, ninjutsu, mechanical illusionary method, that makes sense. So he's got 2 noble phantasms, mechanical illusionary method bull swallowing, which is a reference to the specific story, and then black arts decapitation method moonflower.
So the bull swallowing bit, that's Danzo uses her mechanical arms to create a bit of a vacuum effect that sucks the enemies in, erasing them before everyone's eyes. As for black arts decapitation method moonflower, this is Danzo's ultimate killing technique that she does not want to speak of, nor is she very eager to use it. In fact, she does really, really dislike using it. Basically, she takes hold of either a fruit or a flower, and then when she cuts the top off of it, her enemy's head will fall off even at a far distance.
Fascinating. Designed by Makoto Soga. It is the only character Makoto Soga has ever designed for FGO. Okay. So I've got a... NP? Not NP, but animations in NP.
Yeah.
Okay. Rocket launcher.
Yep.
Go! Glorious. Retractable, detachable rockets. It's fun that it's supposed to be like a puppet, like a mechanical construction, and yet she still doesn't really look like a puppet or a mechanical construction. I think it's very fun that she looks incredibly lifelike. But if you look at the way that, like, her knees hinge and her elbows move, it is a puppet's knee hinge.
We've seen puppets used a fair amount of time in Fate and Type Moon.
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember all the shenanigans of Toko Aozaki from
Yeah.
Fullness Chokai and Moyo?
Oh, yeah. I just think it's cool that they've managed to make her look so incredibly human, but then when you look at the movement of her actual sprite, those, like, you can see, like, in the detail, that is definitely a, like, puppet joint that they've added in.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those characters like Ku and Skahak, where like one of those Max Factory like posable figures would look really good because they already have built in kind of in the character itself where the articulation goes, and it already looks good with her design. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't clash. Even her midsection move piece makes sense.
So next we have Kashin Koji, another assassin.
Okay. My second guess. Caster or assassin? Is this a girl?
Yep.
I thought he said man.
I'll get into it.
Okay. Is this a doll?
Yeah.
Those are joint hinges.
Yep.
I can see them now. Yeah. Is it like a Da Vinci sort of thing?
I'll explain it.
That's a lot of naginatas and weapons.
So Kashin Koji, I've actually likened it most to Toko Aozaki for a number of reasons. The first is she is, you saw, she's a doll,
Yes.
but she was also originally male when she made Kato Danzo.
Mm-hmm.
She simply makes new bodies and has even done so for some other people. That's
So this is my Sasori no Akasuna character, the character who made himself into a puppet and then makes other people into puppets for him.
yeah.
This
yeah.
is my Sasori no Akasuna.
She was actually used as a stand-in for Toko in the middle of the Mihoyo event.
Mm-hmm.
Because doll makers all be weird like that.
Let's see if I can find the image. So this is Sasori of the Red Sand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can see his puppet form in here. Yeah. He's got this puppet body with blades all over the place and weapons and stuff. Yeah.
So she's also got a bit of a Zoken thing going on, though, because while the body can be replaced, the mind will still eventually wear away. So very little of the personality and memory of the original Kashin Koji that was around during the Sengoku period was still left by the end of her life. She has a habit of adopting the identity of people who recognize her as someone not around anymore, and then she chooses to live in that role, often taking up their place in other people's lives. Her current face is actually based off the wife of a Sengoku period general, and she would maintain this identity until her final days. That said, in some timelines, it's actually possible that
Maybe it's Akechi Mitsuhide's wife.
I think it's supposed to be based off that anecdote of her finding the guy, hey, want me to scare you? And then brings his deceased wife out.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's it. In some timelines, it's actually possible she does survive that period and then goes on to the modern day to continue to being a doll maker, but we've only seen that once in one singularity, and I believe other instances attest that she's dead.
Okay.
I won't go into it now because we aren't covering the affected servant today, but she's responsible for tricking at least one historical figure into a gender-swapped body.
Ah.
Yeah.
Like Fuma was worried about?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Alright, yes, I'm Kashin Koji, a plain Genjutsu user. You've heard only my first name from Danzō? I see, well, please use me as you see fit. Yes! I love the... It's hard to translate that to, like, what it would sound. It's Danzō, come here. I will take a look at your condition. I will also give you some remodeling. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Ah, fifth head sama, Fuma Kotaro-sama. Danzō carried out her duty. I'm glad. I'm so glad. Kotarō dono, let me give you some steamed buns. Here they are, steamed buns, you know? Please, by all means, call me grandma. You won't? Depressed. You will? Smile. Lord Monk, do you have a moment? I'll never forgive you.
Remember, he fucked with Danzō.
Yeah, that's fair. The representative of Genjutsu users would be, right, Abe no Seimei-sama. He is like an object of my respect. Tamamo no Mai dono, why are you making such a disgusted face? Ah, what a beautiful person. Archetype Earth Dono. When I see her, I feel something. I wonder what it is. Also, those red-hued eyes. My, how incredible. Mechanical dolls. What wonderful mechanical dolls. Let's disassemble them. Let's disassemble them at once. I can't? Okay. My, everyone is knowledgeable about mechanical dolls. Wonderful. Ah, how wonderful. By all means, let us create a new mechanical doll altogether. I don't mind if you dissect, modify me as you want. By all means, proceed. My, why do you seem taken aback? My. That's to Da Vinci, Babbage, Tesla, Edison, and Qin Shi Huang. Jesus. Okay. We're at abilities.
So she has learned Genjutsu, or the illusory arts, from the first head of the Fuma clan.
Okay.
She also uses her machine-like body to mimic spiders in combat. Beyond that,
which is really funny because, like, if you're saying that, like, she learned from the first head of the Fuma clan, remember the Fuma clan is attested from the 10th century, which is actually even earlier than the Ashikaga Muromachi period that she's supposedly from.
She's been around a lot longer than the historical attestations of her in Fate.
Yeah.
It's just that's when people start
noticing, or they start recording stories. Yeah.
Beyond that, she also possesses mystic eyes capable of hypnosis, even in mid-combat. In life, they were supposedly even more powerful.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Karakuri are the dolls that she created in the one version of the story. So mechanical heterodex method, ferocious like a lion.
So this noble phantasm has her use her body to become a replica of a Jorogumo.
Oh, okay, I know what that is.
Yeah, creepy spider lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
She then uses her mystic eyes and built-in weaponry to devastate her opponents before dropping her second noble phantasm.
Black Arts decapitation method, melon gourd instead of moonflower.
Yep, exact same technique that Danzō hates using. In fact, this is the original, and Danzō's ability to use this, and it was basically her ability. Danzō's ability to use this is basically a remote use of it installed into her by Kashin Koji.
Ah. All right, designed by Yoneyama Mai. Yoneyama Mai has not done anything else for FGO. Interesting.
So I know all the comments are going to be like, wow, you timed this one pretty well. We did, in fact, not.
Don't admit to that. Look, Knick-Knack. We are, like so many beleaguered tragic heroes before us, blessed by Apollo with the gift of prophecy. But remember, the curse of Apollo's gift of prophecy is that no one ever believes you. And it never works the way you think it's going to work. So we get stuff that just so happens to be remarkably on schedule. And in return, the Mushroom Man lives in our walls every time updates comes around. Which, by the way, people are already saying you forgot to show me something in the Odysseus video. Something about Cersei shop songs? Beautiful.
I know exactly what they are telling me that we missed.
Somebody sent me a link to go watch it. I didn't. She's got a much cooler animations.
Yeah, because she's not even out in NA.
Oh, hey, look, spider. It's a spoder.
Spooter. It's a spooter lady.
It's a spoder lady. I don't really have a problem with spider ladies. It's just spiders. I like the big sword. I love when she spins around and then drops a shit ton of weapons out of her skirt. That's a personal favorite. That's right. Yes. Nice. Glorious. Okay.
She's about to drop her NP.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's a different animation for the third stage?
Yep.
Okay. Alright.
Her third stage is a bit of a Dr. Octopus thing going on.
Okay. So you say she's about to drop her NP, but the problem with the power-ups is those are not really fun to watch because she's just kind of standing there like... while, like, sparkles float around her. Ah, yes! Jorogumo. Very much Jorogumo. Glorious. You know what this is? This is Sekhie's anti-arachnophobia therapy part 2. Part 1 was Karnas from Baldur's Gate. This is part 2.
So you're liking the spider motif here.
There's, for some reason, if you plop the upper body of something human-ish on top of a spider, it becomes significantly less scary and a lot more hubba-hubba.
Want to do some anti-Sekhie spider?
No. Did you see a spider?
No, but I brought up the Jorogumo. There is an actual version of that monster fightable in one of the Fate games.
No, thank you. Does it have a hot human body on top of it?
It's kind of one of the most horrific things I've ever seen.
Ah, then no thank you. She's fighting a Tengu.
Yes, she is.
And before that, she was fighting the two-tailed cat yokai. Nekomata. That's what they're called. Nekomata. I'm liking the spider, though. It's great. We love the spider theme. Something I never thought he'd hear me say. The rule of Karnas always wins, guys. Glorious. Alright, let's get to the NP. Here we go. It's not that different. The NP,
no, the NP might be the same.
The animations are different, but the NP is pretty much the same. Yeah. Okay.
So there you have it. The Kashin Koji family.
Yeah. Nice. Look at him. He's all like, oh, I got this. He got this. The catcher. Ah, the beer gun. We love a good beer gun. I feel that. Okay. Oh, the ninja sprites. Yeah, they look very traditional ninja. Oh, he uses a kusarigama. I love kusarigamas. They're such a cool weapon. Okay. Oh, awesome. Extra art. Let's start up here. Oh, I assume he's like just somewhere in the...
He's somewhere in there.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Solid. I don't
You don't know all of them.
Took a little trip to London, did he?
Apparently.
Yeah. Is that not just Domon?
That's not Domon. I don't
Oh.
know who that is off the top of my head.
Huh. I think I've read a doujinshi with that other character. What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. The skiing image is cool. Okay, so the artist had a lot of fun. Oh, offering you his hand. Foot pick.
Hand pick and foot pick.
Yep, get you both. I can already tell if I didn't know the Chaldean boys, I don't know that CE, so I am gonna skip it. If I can tell when it's that small, you know? Okay. Oh, it's Sekhie.
What is a tengu but a big sparrow?
There is no bird I cannot slay. There is no sword that can catch me. A nameless swordsman and a ninja. Sparks fly from their murderous stare. Only one will survive, and there are only enough dumplings for one. I, too, would fight over dumplings. Hidden blade, pheasant reversal. Demon's mask. Yeah. Whoever puts on this mask becomes an Oni, so you really can't put it on unless you absolutely need to. Of course, that's just a joke told during a night of drinking. This is just a normal mask. It doesn't turn you into an Oni. Oh, but if I could put this on, if I could become an Oni, if I could become a monster and slay all my foes, if it could save myself from my suffering, I think I would. And then after wearing the mask, I understood. I did indeed become an Oni. Just by hiding my face, I am capable of all wickedness and evil deeds. I cannot remove this Oni mask anymore. As I embrace evil, the Fuma within me degenerates as well. I'm sorry, Father. I have been reduced to nothing but an Oni. Manju from Fuma Confectionery. A Valentine's return gift. A nutritional supplement that was developed by everyone in the Fuma village. A single manju contains a whole day's worth of nutrients, and it's truly a ninja tool of your dreams for the new age. With one of these, you could go through any difficult mission. It's a light, portable package, and it's easy to carry around. The only bad thing is, its texture is like eating a Brillo pad, and it smells like raw fish gone bad. But that's nothing to worry over. I, in fact, think that is something to worry over, and I do not want to eat something that feels like a Brillo pad.
This is Kato Danzo. We'll be back to this one.
Oh, well, might as well read it now then. Doesn't really matter if we'll be back to it. Plus, there's Fuma Kotaro. He's tied to the ox. I like cows. They're calm, carefree, and they seem to possess a powerful stance, like that of someone with great stature. I do not swallow cows. According to something or other Gundam, Danzō swallowed a cow, but I did not. I do not. Poor thing. Sadly, that is not a sentiment that I can harbor, but swallowing a cow is an action I consider to be distasteful. I do not intend to hurt them. I simply want cows to always be great and dignified. In my distant memory, yes, I believe I even owned a cow. I loved it dearly, and I think I may have even put my favorite Netsuke charm on it. I like cows.
I like cows.
I like cows. Ashigata Brothers. Gordon! I don't know if we read this back when we did.
I don't know if we did either.
Yeah, I can. Spin it all you like. Fill it with pumpkins. Call it a festival. It's all still the work of an Oni. Who knows what kind of trouble this could stir up. So then I'll hoist my always reliable partner on the back of my golden chopper and we'll come zooming in at full speed anytime. Because who are we? We're the Ashigata Brothers. Clear beginnings.
Find the servant.
Found him.
Cool.
Kato Danzo and Fuma Kotaro.
Cool.
Right up there.
Two for the price of one.
I'm getting better at this. Heroic Spirit Travel Journal. Okay, so this is the skiing image. Oh, it's voiced. Let's not blast our own ears off. Here we go, Master. Parallel turn. It is in the Naiba ski resort in Yuzawa, Niigata. Beautiful. The unmanipulatable ones. I'm assuming that's Danzō and Kotarō.
Probably.
Kind of dressed up like gothic lolly dolls. Surrounded by
Dolls.
gothic lolly stuff and dolls. Those look like China dolls, too, like those porcelain China dolls. I used to have a couple of those when I was a kid. I think I broke one or two of them. They might have gotten put upstairs somewhere at some point. Her beautiful appearance can make one quiver, and her bewitching and divine beauty can take one's breath away. Yet you would never be able to tug at her heartstrings and make her your own, no matter how much you try to turn your overwhelming feelings into something tangible and make her your own. Her hair is more lustrous than satin, her eyes more dazzling than crystal, her lips lovelier than cherry blossoms, yet she will never yield. Because she is not some mute doll. That aside, this outfit is quite embarrassing. It really suits you. I see no problem with this, if you say so. It's cute. At the street corner of the decorating sea...
Find that servant.
It's right. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so there's a plushie. Maybe it's out of frame. It's supposed to... Oh, it's under Fran's head. So when the pop-up from the...
Oh, I see him.
Yeah, okay. Because this is Bartholomew Roberts.
Pretty sure those are real plushies you can buy.
Well, either way, we found him. Heroic Spirit Attire Exhibition. Hey, and look at the little Kato Danzo buddies around. Oh, they're so cute. Yeah, it's just Saber Wars Pavilion.
Yeah.
Chaldea Agents. I think we saw this before.
Yes.
Right?
Now you know everyone, though.
Do I?
Shining Star, Mandracardo, and...
Shining Star.
Fuma Kotaro.
Okay. I didn't remember who this was. I thought it was a Hassan, but I wasn't 100%. Oh, this is very new.
調査中だった怪しい組織の会合が今夜カルデア施設内にて行われるとの情報をキャッチしたっすよ。いかなる企みもこれを未然に察知し、忍び、阻止するは我らが責務。参りましょう。マンドリカルドは本部でバックアップ。コタロウは装備 B で最下層へ潜入。お前たち、ミッションスタートだ。
A meeting of a suspicious organization under investigation. We've received information that an operation will take place at the Chaldea facility tonight. It is our duty to detect any plot before it happens and thwart it. Let's get started. Mandracardo will back up at HQ. Kotarō will infiltrate the lowest level with equipment B. You guys, mission start. They are a secret intelligence agency that secretly protects peace. Tonight, they will boldly expose corruption in the darkness.
Mission started.
Kato Danzo. Alright, we have a Sprite. Is that thumbs up or middle finger up, do you think?
I think it's supposed to be a...
Oh, it's supposed to be like this? Okay. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Cheerleader! Adorable. Okay.
That actually might need... That might be a ref.
Lovely. And then we've got 3 illustrations. Okay. I remember this, the Under the Same Sky 5th anniversary. Okay. First Valentine's, Manju. We already found her there. We already read that. And we already saw that. So they're... Skip those. First Valentine's with...
You don't know that other character yet.
K. Manju from Fuma Confectionery revised. Gift from Black Kite Danzo, a nutritional supplement developed by the Fuma clan. Danzo improved on this old recipe. Not only does a single manju contain a whole day's worth of nutrients, but it also salves accumulated fatigue and is even said to temporarily increase one's magical energy. This tool of the ninja world would be coveted by businessmen of the new age and even mages. The old version's most notable characteristic was its unique texture and foul smell. And now, with the improved version, behold! Nothing has changed. The steel wool texture and raw fishy smell remain. Only now it has an interesting aftertaste, too!
Would you eat it now?
No. Look, they make these in Naruto too, and they're not good there either. Is that Lakshmi Bai?
No, that's Neja.
Oh, fuck me. I've not even seen Lakshmi
No,
Bai
you've
yet.
not seen Lakshmi Bai.
Why am I guessing Lakshmi
Why'd
Bai?
you guess Lakshmi Bai?
I don't know. I was definitely thinking of Neja.
Yeah, where the fuck did Lakshmi Bai come from?
Fuck if I know. Ignore me. I'm apparently...
This isn't even like one of the ones that she's accidentally spoiled for herself.
No. The act of enjoying the summer can happen to anyone, even to those who are not human. They are all heroic spirits. The time they have here may be limited, but they will fill this brief moment with many memories. Okay. It's okay. I'm just dumb. My gosh, one hardly needs illusions here. Kairaku and in Mito, Ibaraki. Looks like Cherry Blossom Festival.
Yeah.
And then Kashin Koji. Which will have the least, I assume. Yeah, it literally only has a Dream Striker. Those poor soccer balls. I think they might be a little flat soon.
You might need to put a little air in them.
Yeah, pump it up. Okay, there's one extra illustration in the extra illustration section. And the rest is normal. Okay. Foot pick. And 3 CEs. Inspiration when I close my eyes. It's an alcohol fucking gourd. It happened at dusk. Not all is lost, it's just vague. My visual memory of it is the blurriest portion. I have verbal memory of it, but I struggle to tie the words to an image. The picture never gets vivid. That's what makes dusk so valuable. The calabash hid its fruit among the lush set of leaves, the fruit gaining a madder red glow. I recall it clearly. The calabash fruit I plucked under the glimmer of the setting sun, and the first human life I plucked. Melon. Mechanical figure. Oh, yeah, it's a ball-jointed doll. Yeah, BJD. It's funny, because I follow the OOAK doll customizing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I follow that. And
yeah.
so, like, BJDs and like, dolls like this are something that I do actively, like, I'm in that section of the internet, so it's really funny seeing references to it. A life-size wooden doll housed in a lacquered wooden box. It is a ball-jointed doll, faceless. At first glance, the wooden box looks like a coffin, perhaps due to the doll's unique presence. This doll is a spare body. Although it is possible to replace only a part, such as a hand or foot, Kashin Koji says that replacing the whole body, all 5 parts, is the most efficient. Furthermore, if the whole body is replaced, it is said to bring about enhanced reflexes, increased output, muscle strength, blocked pain sensation, permanent, blade and bulletproof properties, only upon impact, embedded weapons in arms and legs, etc. Convenient! I don't know if I want someone to Sasori no Akasuna me. You know? I don't know if I like that idea. Interesting. Is this a reference to... A ball is held at the Candy Castle. Various flower spirits will greet you. Candy, caramel, chocolate, sweets dance to the smooth triple beat. The party continued until they woke up. Nice. And it's from the Christmas event, 2024.
Yes.
Wasn't that... Didn't we just do the winter... In updates, didn't we just cover the winter servant from that event?
Yes, Abby.
Yeah, Abby. That's it. I was like, it has to be either ballet or figure skating inspired.
Yeah,
it's ballet inspired. Okay. So that was the ninjas.
What did you think of them?
I liked them. They're good. Okay. They're solid.
So, fuck you guys for calling me out on that Odysseus misfit. I'm not even going to let Sekhie put that in updates. I'm going to make y'all wait until the next video, because our next video is short and it gives me an extra, 3 minutes of content. Yeah, nothing to tie into the next video, just because I want to fuck with them. Because I fucking hate you.
Nick, this comes out after updates.
Yes, I know.
We literally couldn't put it in updates.
This is their punishment. Odysseus came out before updates, though.
Oh, it did!
But I'm not letting her put it in updates. You guys have to wait till this next video comes out, because this next video is short and I need more content. There's your hit. It's short. Fuck you guys.
He's so mad.
I want her to see that too. It's cute.
Okay. Well, have fun, guys.